Welcome to the wonder well where curiosity live. Imagine standing on a beach, gazing out at the sunset. The world seems peaceful, your thoughts are calm, and in that moment, everything feels real. But is it? Could it be that the world you're experiencing is a creation of your own mind? Science suggests that the reality we perceive isn't an objective truth. Rather, it's shaped by our beliefs, memories, and perceptions. Today we'll explore how our brains interpret the world and how, in many ways, we create our own reality. Our reality begins with perception. Every moment, your brain is processing millions of pieces of sensory information. The light you see, the sounds you hear, the textures you feel. But how does the brain decide what's important? Let's break it down with some science. According to neuroscientist David Eagleman, our brains are constantly interpreting sensory data to construct a best guess of what reality is. In his book The Brain, The Story of You, Eagleman explains how perception is not passive but rather an active process in which our brain uses both past experiences and predictions about the future to shape the present moment. One of the most famous studies on perception is the rubber hand illusion. In this experiment, a person watches a rubber hand being stroked while their real hand is hidden. After a while, the brain begins to perceive the rubber hand as part of the body. This shows how malleable our sense of reality is. Even something as fundamental as our body image can be altered by sensory input. Botvinnik and Cohen, 1998. The rubber hand illusion is a striking example of how our brains prioritize the input they receive and fill in the blanks when necessary. But perception doesn't just stop at sensory input. Perception is not just about what we see or hear, it's also influenced by what we believe. In fact, cognitive psychologists argue that our beliefs can alter our sensory experiences and even rewire how we interpret the world. According to cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman, who wrote The Case Against Reality, evolution has shaped our brains not to see the world accurately but to perceive it in a way that maximizes our survival. His theory suggests that what we see and hear is a simplified version of reality, a user interface designed to keep us safe. In other words, we don't see reality as it is, but as it's useful for us to see. A groundbreaking study by psychologist Richard Wiseman, 2004, demonstrated how our beliefs can influence perception. In his research on luck, people who considered themselves lucky were more likely to spot opportunities in their environment, while those who saw themselves as unlucky missed out on the same opportunities. This wasn't because one group was more perceptive, it was because their beliefs shaped their ability to notice opportunities. Beliefs, even unconscious ones, act like filters. If you believe the world is a hostile place, your brain will focus on information that confirms this. Conversely, if you believe in abundance, you'll notice opportunities that others may overlook. Another powerful tool that shapes our reality is suggestion. The human brain is incredibly sensitive to what we're told, whether by others or by ourselves. Renowned psychiatrist and author Milton Erickson developed the field of hypnotherapy based on this idea, that language can profoundly affect how we experience the world. Through suggestion, he demonstrated that the mind can alter its perception of pain, time, and even physical symptoms. In a study on the placebo effect, Harvard Medical School researchers found that patients who believed they were receiving pain relief medication reported a significant decrease in pain, even though they were only given sugar pills. Kapchuk et al., 2010. This suggests that belief alone can shape our physical experience of reality. The placebo effect isn't just a medical curiosity, it's a window into how deeply our beliefs shape what we perceive. Our perception of reality is also shaped by our memories. But what if those memories are unreliable? Elizabeth Loftus, a leading expert in memory research, has shown through her work on false memories that our recollections can be highly unreliable. In her famous Lost in the Mall experiment, Loftus successfully implanted false memories in participants, convincing them they had been lost in a shopping mall as children, even though it never happened. Loftus and Pickrell, 1995. What we remember shapes our current beliefs and perceptions. But since memory itself can be easily distorted, we are often relying on a version of reality that isn't entirely accurate. As we dig deeper, quantum physics takes us into an even more mysterious territory, suggesting that reality itself might not be fixed or objective at all. Quantum theory has long puzzled scientists, particularly with experiments like the double-slit experiment. This experiment showed that particles like electrons behave differently when observed, suggesting that the act of observation itself can change the outcome of events. According to physicist John Wheeler, we live in a participatory universe. We are not just passive observers. Could this mean that, at a fundamental level, our minds are co-creators of the universe itself? So, what can we take away from all this? Perception is influenced by everything. The sensory input we receive, our beliefs, our memories, and even the suggestions of others. In a very real sense, we do create our own reality, one shaped by our minds rather than any objective truth. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant once said, we see things not as they are, but as we are. Further reading. The Brain, The Story of You by David Eagleman. The Case Against Reality by Donald Hoffman. Incognito. The Secret Lives of the Brain by David Eagleman. The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks. The Power of Suggestion by Milton Erickson. The Hidden Brain by Shankar Vedantam. Perhaps reality is less about what's out there and more about what's within. What you perceive, believe, and remember shapes your world. And now, knowing this, how will you shape yours? If you enjoyed this journey through the science of perception, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Wonder Well for more mind-expanding content where curiosity lives.